To own the title, Anointed Christ prophecy, Psalm 2 verse 2 in fulfillment, John 1 verse 41, Acts 2 verse 36. The title, Anointed, or Christ, carries significant theological and historical implications in the Bible. In the Old Testament, the term, anointed, refers to a chosen and consecrated individual appointed by God for a specific purpose. The Psalms, as part of the Hebrew Scriptures, contain prophecies that foreshadow the coming of the Anointed One. Psalm 2 verse 2, in particular, alludes to the nation's opposition to God's appointed anointed. The fulfillment of this prophecy is seen in the New Testament, where Jesus of Nazareth, identified as the Christ, the Greek equivalent of anointed, claims and embodies this title. By exploring the connection between Psalm 2 verse 2 and its fulfillment in John 1 verse 41 and Acts 2 verse 36, we gain deeper insights into the significance of the title, Anointed, and its relevance to the person and mission of Jesus Christ. Psalm 2 verse 2, the opposition to God's anointed. Psalm 2 verses 1 to 2 sets the context for the opposition against God's anointed. Why do the nations rage, and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together, against the Lord and against His anointed. In this prophetic psalm, the psalmist foresees the nations and their rulers rising in opposition against the Lord's anointed. Despite their collective resistance, the psalm affirms God's sovereignty and the establishment of His chosen anointed to fulfill His divine purposes. John 1 verse 41, the recognition of the anointed. In the Gospel of John, we witness the fulfillment of Psalm 2 verse 2 when Andrew, a disciple of John the Baptist, recognizes Jesus as the long-awaited Anointed One. He first found his own brother Simon and said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which is translated, the Christ. In this verse, Andrew declares his conviction that Jesus is the Anointed One, the promised Messiah of Israel. This acknowledgment aligns with the prophetic anticipation in Psalm 2 of a divine figure anointed by God to bring salvation and establish His kingdom. Acts 2 verse 36, the proclamation of Jesus as Christ. In the book of Acts, we encounter another instance of the fulfillment of Psalm 2 verse 2. In his powerful sermon on the day of Pentecost, Peter proclaims the Lordship and exaltation of Jesus Christ. "Therefore, let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God has made this Jesus, whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ." Peter's declaration acknowledges Jesus as both Lord and Christ, signifying His divine authority and His fulfillment of the prophetic title, Anointed, from Psalm 2 verse 2. This proclamation underscores the centrality of Jesus Christ in God's redemptive plan for humanity. Significance and day-to-day applications. The connection between Psalm 2 verse 2 and its fulfillment in John 1 verse 41 and Acts 2 verse 36 holds profound significance and day-to-day applications for believers. Confirmation of Messianic Identity. The fulfillment confirms Jesus' Messianic identity, validating His role as the divinely appointed Anointed One to bring salvation and reconcile humanity to God. Recognition of Jesus' Lordship. Understanding Jesus as the Christ highlights His Lordship over all creation and the authority He holds as the Anointed King and Savior. Affirmation of God's faithfulness. The fulfillment of the Psalmic prophecy underscores God's faithfulness in fulfilling His promises and bringing His redemptive plan to fruition through Jesus Christ. Encouragement in times of opposition. The connection offers encouragement to believers facing opposition or persecution, reminding them that God's Anointed One triumphs over the resistance of the world. Mission to proclaim Christ. Recognizing Jesus as the Christ motivates believers to fulfill the Great Commission, proclaiming the gospel of Christ's Lordship and the hope of salvation to all nations. In day-to-day life, the knowledge that Jesus is the Anointed One empowers believers to trust in His Lordship over their lives, seek His guidance in decision-making, and find comfort in His intercession as their high priest. Acknowledging Jesus as the Christ also deepens personal devotion and worship, as believers come to understand His sacrificial work on the cross and His exalted position as the Anointed King. Moreover, embracing Jesus as the Christ inspires a greater commitment to living according to His teachings, reflecting His love and grace to others, and engaging in acts of service that embody the values of His kingdom. Ultimately, The connection between Psalm 2 verse 2 and its fulfillment in John 1 verse 41 and Acts 2 verse 36 magnifies the significance of the title, Anointed, and its embodiment in the person of Jesus Christ. As believers grasp the profound implications of this fulfillment, they are encouraged to live with a sense of purpose, hope, and assurance, knowing that they serve and worship the divinely appointed King who reigns as Lord over all.